Okay, James Waley, part the eighth, part the ninth. I've lost track, but okay. Starting right from the beginning of your September 13th, 2025 letter, James. Hey, Dave. It was never my intention to call you a liar or a bad guy. And seeing as the last time I got into Kitchener to see you was 7 years ago in 2018, we all definitely change over time, eh? And while you may have been a visit kind of guy back then, that was then and this is now, right? Okay, you're making it sound, James, as if you visited me 7 years ago, which you didn't. I think I do remember you contacting me and saying that you were coming into town by means of a phone message, and I definitely got back to you and said, "No, James, a leopard never changes its spots, and you have a very loose idea of what timely consists of." And certainly, in 2018, I was still scheduled to the hilt. So the idea of, James is just going to sort of wander by whenever he decides he's going to wander by and knock on the door, I could pretty much guarantee that it would be in the middle of one of my prayer times. So, no, definitely, any time that you talked about coming here to visit at the Off White House, the answer was always no, because I know that you're not a timely kind of guy. That's the bottom line on that one. Uh, and it sounds like Ivan getting to visit with you was a momentary glitch in your regular routine at best. So I certainly won't take that as the norm. That's for sure. Obviously, the less said about that, the better. Depending on what your phrasing means here, um, it was it wasn't a momentary glitch. It was a momentary synchronicity of me being done with everything that I had to do to that point, and literally at the moment that I was going, well, that's it. I'm all caught up. There was the sound of somebody putting something in the door between the two front doors, and I thought it was Roley and thought I would surprise him by opening the door, which I ordinarily don't do. And it was Ivan, and it was him dropping off the copy of his book, the Wartime Heroes book. And well, coincidence of coincidences, come on in. We will have a 1 hour off White House visit in the rectangle office. And we were definitely getting to the point of having an argument by the end of the hour. But it was reasonably pleasant. It was a frank exchange of viewpoints, as they say in the diplomatic game, and also just getting caught up on a bunch of stuff. Okay, as for the Orb number 5 cover painting, I don't recall you telling me to hang onto it and to just leave it to the Cerebus archive. And while you refer to this in your letter as a, quote, very generous gift, unquote, from me, it's actually the exchange we agreed on the last time you so generously helped me out with some funds years ago. Okay, well, again, that's not the situation as I recall it. Uh, I think you tried to change it into that. Uh, I had this policy, an ongoing policy, that any of the DF guys, any of the dark fantasy guys, if they ever contacted me and said, "I'm in trouble, can you help me out?" I would help them out. Um, Basically, doing a Gene Day where ordinarily Dave Sim wouldn't do that. Where, as Gene always said, if he had all the money that was owed to him, he'd be doing just fine. It's like, well, okay, in that case, don't do that. You're lending money to people who are not good for paying it back. It was a question in my mind, is James Waley in that category? I really had only one person from the DF days contact me, and I did um, a, a gift of money. Basically, here, I hope this solves your problem permanently. It at least solves it temporarily, and we'll leave it at that. And never having heard from anyone else, when I heard from you that you were having money troubles, the the uppermost question in my mind was, okay, does James qualify? Um, is he someone where if Gene Day was alive and he was going, oh, okay, Dave, I see what you're doing, he would go, yes, definitely, you want to bail James out, or would he have said, no, James was James. He wasn't really a DF guy. So if you want to do that, don't do it in my name. That was one of the questions, but I decided to err on the side of generosity and just go, okay, you're in trouble. How much money do you need to get you out of trouble, at least temporarily? And you let me know, and I sent you a check. It was then that you went, okay, I will guarantee this amount of money with the Orb 5 cover painting. And it's like, uh, if you wanted to pick a single piece of artwork that just raised red flags all over the place for me, the Orb 5 cover painting was it. And it's like, no, please don't do that. I'm giving you this money on the basis that I'm giving you this money. Don't try and turn it into this is the point where Dave Sim agreed that he would accept the Orb 5 cover painting. BTW, I had no idea that Gene hated how Peter Sue rendered his cover based on his pencil drawing, which I still have a photocopy of buried away somewhere, which I'll add to the Cerebus archives sometime in the future. That would be very much appreciated. There was certainly no problem at the pencil stage. Gene was very, very proud of the cover to that point and was looking forward to seeing it on Canadian newsstands, which was, the point that you were at with Orb magazine, that you had newsstand distribution. Though I'm certain we were both in total agreement that the actual printing of that issue's cover was terrible, that's for sure. Uh, yeah, I think we're in agreement about that. That was when the question came to me, did Gene ever see the cover painting, the actual cover painting, or did he just see the printed copy? Because that would have definitely added to the heart attack side of it. That this is the cover that I did, picturing that it was going to be a John Berkey style Towering Inferno painting, and it was going to be on Canadian newsstands everywhere. And this is what it came out as. Did you say to Gene, did you just send him printed copies of the book, or did you just wait for him to find it on a newsstand and go, oh my God? Because that would certainly explain him being negative enough that Gail picked up on that as we, husband and wife, are in complete agreement on this, and it's Peter Sue's fault. You go on. This is an interesting part. However, it was Steve Bevington and the folks at Coach House Press, one of Toronto's most prestigious publishing houses, no doubt about that, who did the separations. But I later decided to pay them only 50% because of the shit job they did, and as a result, got a surprise visit from some of his biker buddies to my second floor apartment one night. As luck would have it, the door at the bottom of the stairs in my building was securely locked, and the window in it was reinforced with wire mesh because, as they threatened me with grievous bodily harm unless I paid the full amount, they also did their level best to try and bust through that glass, but to no avail, thankfully. Our confrontation ended when I told them I was calling the police and started back up the stairs, which they took as a good sign to depart, and I'm grateful I never ended up hearing from them again, and of course never worked with Coach House again for sure. And if you ever get a chance to check out Stan's wiki page online, you'll see he's actually an Order of Canada recipient. So his company was no level outfit and not an, quote, affordable, i.e. cheap, color separator, unquote, though they were actually very reasonably priced, as I recall. Um, yeah, they would pretty much have to be because you didn't have a lot of money to throw around. Um, it's it's an interesting story, like what Coach House Press was doing with biker buddies, going and collecting their bills. Um, it's that's an interesting story. It it beggars the imagination to go, okay, how did this happen? But also getting back to the actual cover, I do have the question mark of why didn't you get a cover proof, and why did you not get a color key that said this is what the printed cover is going to look like, so you could look at it and go, no, this isn't working for me at all. I mean, it's got to look like the cover, and this is just way too washed out. So if I was ambivalent about the Orb #5 cover painting, to this point, your Coach House Press story definitely kicked it over the goal line, and it's like, wherever it ends up, I think it's probably better ending up there. And as I said from the beginning, if you want to donate it, or if your heirs want to donate it to the Cerebus Archive, when Eddie Kana takes over after my death, um, certainly you're more than welcome to do that, and I'm sure Eddie would appreciate it a great deal. And at that point, hopefully it'll just be the Orb #5 cover, and not this thing with all of these different nightmares attached to it. Okay, that ends my response here on, what is this, November 3rd, to your September 13th letter. And hopefully we can move on from there to just talking about Orb magazine generally. I just got a copy of #2, which I've been missing for a long time. So I now have all of the issues, and hopefully we can move on to promoting your 6-issue Northern Light miniseries. Um, so I will wait to get a written response from you, and we will hopefully move on from there.